As you can see behind me, the military is here. They arrived today with their equipment. They're using this school as a staging area to provide relief and support to the people in this northeastern corner of the province. There are still 18,000 to 20,000 people without power. The vast majority, about 14,000, are here on the Acadian Peninsula. More than 150 NB power crews are working on clearing lines and replacing shattered power poles, but that job is proving harder than anyone expected. Thick ice on power lines isn't melting even after almost a week, and that may mean more time in the dark and cold for many residents here.
We do have to prepare, however, that there will be pockets of individuals. There will be some families that will still have a few days without power.
Today, 200 military personnel arrived from base Gagetown to help in the cleanup and to provide support for residents here. Gabrielle Fami has more on that story.
It was a grand entrance. With bags and supplies for at least 10 days, this morning they arrived in the Acadian Peninsula, all 200 of them.
But it's our job. You know, the people of Canada are really important to us, and that's what we're here to serve.
To offer support to those who have already given it everything they can. The village of Miscou is in a complete blackout. It has been for the past 6 days. And for its people, patience is starting to run thin.
It's a good thing in a way, but I don't know what they could go to help the people get out of their houses and stuff like that, bring them food, especially the elderly. Cut branches that are, I don't know if they're equipped for that, to cut branches that are on the telephone wires. Other than that, everything's too late.
It was a packed house at the church this afternoon, where officials told people the army was in the village. But it didn't quite have the effect they expected.
I was hoping to get some news on when NB Power's gonna flick the switch or whatever, but I guess they're not coming here this afternoon.
Disappointed?
A bit, yeah.
The work has started, but these people only have one question on their minds: when they will get their power back. And that's one they don't have an answer to. Gabrielle Fami, CBC News, Miscou.
And we'll have more from the Acadian Peninsula later in the show. Meanwhile, NB Power crews are making their way through other communities tonight where living just over the hill or just across the river can make a world of difference. Our Jill English has been following that story. Jill.
I'm in St. Charles in the middle of Kent County today. As you can see behind me, a lot of the trees here still covered in ice from last week's storm. But it was a good day for a lot of people in the area who got their power back before hitting that 1 week mark without it. When we got here this morning, there were already some happy faces, enjoying their reacquired amenities.
Took a long while before we got a hot shower.
Hector Boucher stopped at the local convenience store to buy oil to refill a generator he borrowed last week. He got his power back last night.
I didn't think we'd get it back. At home, the lines were down on the ground.
But just over the hill, residents weren't quite finished with powerless living. John Daigle is having a particularly hard time with the disruption to his routine. He has polyfibromyalgia.
We changed this routine for him, and by doing that, you know, his stomach is acting up. And he is more nervous, naturally, and we're waiting for it to come on.
The Daigles are hoping it won't be much longer. This afternoon, crews trimmed trees on nearby Chemin St. Charles Nord, preparing lines for restored power. And around 1 p.m., the lines on this stretch were cleared. New Brunswick Power connected 110 more customers to the grid.
It's a pretty good feeling to give back, especially after 6 days they got low power.
There are still those in St. Charles and Aldouin areas without power. So at the community center where the power was restored this morning, volunteers peeled 150 pounds of potatoes and prepared a hot meal.
The co-op in Richibouctou gave us all the meat and the potatoes and the carrots and all that to be able to cook for them. So that's a great thing of them.
They started serving dinner here at 4 o'clock, an effort to bring the community together in what people are hoping will be the last few days of the storm's aftermath. Jill English, CBC News, St. Charles.